on this week's episode, we're talking about travel.
We talk about packing and airports and all of the fun stuff that you do when you travel.
So stick around.
Hi, and welcome to Rare with Flair,
The podcast where two best friends with the same rare disease are living our best lives. I'm your host, Casey.
and I'm your host, Cassandra. Case,
Yes, Cass.
how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing grand. Actually, I'm going to see you in a few days.
I know. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
This episode is very timely once again because we are about to travel. And before you say it, before the listeners say it, you've done an episode on traveling before. This one is going to be very different. Our last
Not
one was
the
all
same.
about the rare aspect of like, how do we travel as legally blind people? This one is different.
Right.
So don't
This
even
is
worry
for
about it.
funsies. This is
Yep.
for funsies. And so it's so funny because like we didn't actually know that we were going to be seeing each other this weekend when we kind of like map out the topics of the upcoming episodes like a couple times a year, like several months ahead. And like it just so happened that this was the magic weekend.
It
the
did,
magic
yeah.
weekend. What are we doing together, Case?
Well, maybe we'll get into it a little more specifically on a later episode, but we're doing some research. We're part of research, and maybe that's all we should say for now. I don't know, but
think so.
I think we can we're gonna dive into some things like that more though in the future. But yeah, research for our rare disease, Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome, and all the things that come along with it, you know. But
we'll be in Pittsburgh, which will be really fun.
And by the time you hear this, we will be back in town.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm super looking forward to it though. Any bonus opportunity that like we can see each other is
gosh.
Wild.
I'm so excited. But how has your
be
week
great.
been? Any updates for you?
Well, it finally happened, y'all. I did get the Rona. It took a long time, but I'm grateful it did.
Yes.
But
And how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better actually. So, it's been pretty much like almost a week and a half since I started having symptoms, and honestly, like I think even today is Tuesday, so even like honestly yesterday I was feeling much better, probably like 10 days out. But yeah, I like lost my taste and smell, the whole thing. But
The whole thing.
it came back. She returned to me.
Yes,
glad.
yes. Very glad about that. I sound like I've had the Rona, but I actually just had a cold, so it's not.
Yeah,
but I feel like my voice
we were sick
sounds.
at the same time.
I know we were struggling at the same time, but I do. The only reason I feel the need to say that is my voice does sound different. But hey, it's kind of like that rasp, you know.
I know. It's
Kind of
nice.
nice, sexy rasp, you know.
I have an announcement for our listeners.
Oh my gosh, tell us.
I am really excited. So if you listened last week in our little this little small talky segment before we actually dive into that topic, we teased a little bit about an upcoming opportunity to purchase Rare with Flair merch for a fundraiser. And are we ready to announce what that merch is?
Yes. I'll do the drum roll.
Yes. We're selling bucket hats.
Oh my gosh. Rare with Flair bucket hats, y'all. Can you think of anything cuter in your life?
No,
you know,
I can't,
the spring is coming up, the summer's coming up. Imagine yourself in a little bucket hat with our little logo on it, with like your overalls on, or your like your swimsuit cover up on.
Shut
or
up.
like
That's so
you
cute
know,
on the beach.
It's so cute. And guess what? While you're being cute, you can support the Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome Network to help us find a cure for this horrible disease that we have.
Honestly,
I'm gonna call it. We're gonna call it what it is. I'm gonna call it horrible because it is.
It is not great.
So if you want to make our lives a little less horrible and help help everyone,
To clarify, it doesn't go to us.
The money does not go to us, but it still helps us in the roundabout way.
It will help us, but we send it all directly to the Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome Network. All of the profits that we make from it, whatever doesn't go to overhead, any money we make from this campaign, all goes to the Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome Network to help fund, conferences for people with HPS, but ultimately also goes to help with any kind of research to help us not have so many terrible things happen to us and future generations of people with HPS.
So, if you want information on how to purchase your bucket hat, this is starting on Rare Disease Day, which is February 28th, the last day of February, and all the information will be on our Facebook, Instagram, and our website, other social medias. Also, look in the show notes if you want to, access it from there, but it will be available anywhere you find us. You'll probably be able to find this fundraiser, so do not fret.
Do not fear. It will be available for you. And I think that's one more thing I want to say about the bucket hats. And now, that is like kind of a lingering thing from the Rona, is like my thoughts.
Brain
they come
fog.
and they go.
Yes, the brain fog. Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, February 28th. Yep, I'm just going to leave it there. All right.
Yeah, perfect. If you want to match us, because we're going to be wearing them.
Yeah, I remember now.
Oh, please say it, yes.
If you want to support the HPS network, but don't want to buy a bucket hat, which, I mean, why wouldn't you? But that's on you. There will be an option in the campaign just to donate if that is something that you're also interested in. Again, anything you do helps a ton.
Yeah, we don't want you to not donate just because you don't want the hat. It's fine if you just want to donate. So, yeah, like Cass said, that is great. Awesome.
Woo-hoo.
Awesome.
Ooh, Case.
Well, about travel, we're both about to travel.
Yes.
And we both travel pretty frequently. You are more of a experienced travel outside of the country and you go to all these places. But even though I don't travel like internationally a whole lot, I do travel a decent amount, especially, well, I was going to say in the last few years, but honestly, like I travel a fairly decent amount. And this year I'm traveling like 10 times, literally 10 times.
Girl, ooh.
It's a lot. But so I think like we both have a lot to say about this is my point in all saying all of that.
Do we want to talk about our upcoming trips or do we want to not talk about, we
could.
Okay.
I have quite a few work trips coming up. And I don't know if I need to say where they are because not all of them are like 100%, but it's more of like a 99% you might be going on this trip. And there's like 3 of those. Well, there's one where I'm definitely going to Minneapolis in the fall.
Woohoo.
And then there are 2 that are like up in the air. And then I'm going to New York for the Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome Conference.
Yes.
I'll be going to the beach with my family. I'll be going a few other places. I'm possibly visiting one of my friends for her 30th birthday because she visited me. So,
that's so fun.
So, and then I already have gone to the NIH and then this weekend going to Pittsburgh. So, yeah, all combined, it is like 10 times or something crazy like that. But what about you?
Let's see. I am going to a conference for work.
Yes.
In Anaheim in mid-March, which I'm really excited about. It's the CISA, so it's like one of the Cal States. I think it's Cal State Northridge. They have a conference for like accessibility and assistive technology every year, and I've wanted to go for a really long time, and I'm finally gonna get to go this year. Knock on wood, fingers crossed, God willing. But after that, I'm going to the HPS conference, and I get to see Case again.
Yes.
So exciting. I'm taking a little trip to Seattle just by myself. That'll be really fun in April, in May. So like Kay said, I do like to travel internationally, and I usually end up going with my parents. It's a lot of fun, and travel where I don't have to plan things. I am 100% down for that. So, we're going to, sorry, oh my gosh, my brain is not catching up with me.
It's fine.
We are fine. We take an international trip every year, And this is our trip that was supposed to happen in 2020, but it's now happening this year. We're going to Spain and Portugal, which I am really excited about. It's going to be so much fun.
Can I tell you what I think of when I hear Spain and Portugal? Do you know what I'm going to say?
Is it Cheetah Girls?
No, but it's a quote from a movie.
No, I don't know.
It's like, if anyone knows this, write it in the comments. I have a meeting with my guidance counselor. Well, I have a meeting with Spain and Portugal. That is from
Diaries,
the iconic film, one of the best films ever made.
I was
The Princess
just
Diaries.
thinking about that film yesterday, and I was like, it's been 6 months. I think it's about time to watch it again.
Oh, you must watch it biannually.
Yes, it's required.
At least.
It makes you feel so good. I just can't express.
I actually watched it last year when I had COVID, so I think you're due for a watch. I did. I think that was the last time I saw it. Oh my gosh. So, what a film. So sorry to cut you off. Where else are you going?
No, you're good. It was a really important deviation to
I
take.
know. It really was. It really was.
Especially on this pod.
Is that your last trip so far that you know of this year?
I have a couple trips that I'm hoping to take.
Right.
I want to visit a friend, and I haven't booked it yet, so it's not like 100%. And then my friend Diana and I are trying to take a trip, but we're not like we haven't nailed anything down either. But
yeah.
I will also be going to the NIH, like Casey went in January.
Oh, yes.
I'll be going at the end of September, so that'll be a time.
So you have quite a few travels this year as well. I mean, that's
we're busy gals.
We're busy gals here with the travels, and so I think we can basically say we're experts on the topic.
Of course,
we have so much to share with all of you. Okay, not really, but I do think the more you travel, the more you get into like the groove of what you're doing and everything.
For sure.
And so, like, when it comes to preparing for a trip, we're about to leave literally in, like, 3 days.
Yes.
When it comes to preparing for a trip, how early do you start thinking about your packing and your travel? Or, do you leave it to the last minute? What does it look like for you?
I think it really depends the kind of trip that I'm going on. So, like, depending on how high the stakes are, if it's like just a quick weekend trip or if it's like a longer deal. So usually when I take an international trip, I'm like planning my packing probably a week or two ahead, because I just want to make sure that I am going to have all of the outfits and clothes ready that I will need to have ready at that time. And I start kind of pre-planning my, like, what I'm gonna be wearing each day, knowing, like, the itinerary for each day, and, like, I'm more intentional about those kinds of trips. When it's something quicker, like this weekend trip, right? Yeah. I will wait until I really just have to pack. Like, that probably a day or two in advance, I'll be like, okay, this seems like the right time to pack.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. What about you?
I kind of do wait till the last minute to pack, just because it's a lot to, like, get out and I don't like having my suitcase, like, sitting there on the ground, like, taking up space and stuff. But I will say, this is something funny about me, and it's like, literally embarrassing to admit this. But, like, whenever I have the next trip coming, like, even if it's, like, a month or two out, I'm already thinking about the outfits I'm going to wear on the said trip. I love fashion. I love fashion and clothes, and I feel like travel, you're going to take pictures. That, like, you're going to see people possibly, like, you want to look your best, and I feel like I really do save, like, quote unquote, my best looks for my trips. And, like, especially if we're going to, like, a conference, like the NOAA conference or the HPS conference, like, you want to look your best. And so, yeah, like, I definitely do think about that a lot, just because I think it's fun to think about, I guess, like,
it helps with the anticipation of going.
It does, especially like seasonally. Like, I'll be, and sometimes I'll write a list on my phone of, like, on the Tuesday of the trip I'm gonna wear this, and on the Wednesday I'm gonna wear this.
Level of,
so I do get into that a little bit. I do get excited for travel fashions.
Everything else is secondary, and honestly, you usually need the same stuff every time. But when you pack, how do you pack? Do you have like an order? Do you have a list? What do you do?
Yeah, so something I started doing really recently that I think I should have done years ago that has changed the game. So I've always had like a toiletry bag, you know. But this is a little extra time and money, but I think it's worth doing because once you do it, you have it forever. I have it completely full of the things I need, and so I literally just grab it and go. I don't have to like be putting things into it.
Oh, wow.
So like I have the travel sizes of everything I need, like the, you know, whatever. And the only thing I need to put in it is my toothbrush because I do have like an electric toothbrush. So I didn't buy a whole other electric toothbrush for travel. But like literally everything else, face wash, shampoo, everything, I have mini versions and I keep it in there so that when it's time to travel, I throw it in and I don't have to like be like, oh, did I forget that? Or, oh, did I pack that? And that has changed the game, my friend. It really has changed the game. I recommend it.
Solid.
I recommend it. And then I recently got packing cubes, which is like a whole new world for me as well.
Really? How do
yes.
you like that? I've never tried those.
I do like it. I think it helps you stay organized. You also can have like a specific cube for like dirty clothes so that once you get to your destination, you can kind of like put the clothes you wore in it. It's nice. You know, I do think for a short weekend trip, it's not worth it. Like if I have a small carry-on bag, they don't really fit well in a small suitcase. You kind of need a bigger suitcase to like fit the cubes in because I tried to do it with my smaller suitcase and like one cube fit in there. And then I was like, well, this doesn't work because I need like a cube for like pajamas, a cube for, you know, daytime clothes, a cube for whatever. And they're too big for like a very small carry-on, which is what I traveled with to the NIH. I did a carry-on. So, you know, if you're going to check luggage and you're gone for a longer time, I think it's a good thing to do. So yeah, you know,
what
and
kind
I have
of
a
bag
list.
do you usually pack for your trips?
So I have 3 different bags. I have like a large suitcase. I have a smaller rolling carry-on suitcase, and then I have like a duffel bag, you know. So if I'm going to like my friend's house overnight or like, you know, somewhere kind of close locally, I might use that duffel. And then if I'm going to like on a longer trip, I will use my like a week, 5 days or longer, or I might use my big bag and check my luggage. And if not, like this weekend, I'll be using my smaller roller bag and I won't be checking it. So, you know, that's how I do that. But what about you for all of those things? Like, how do you pack? Like, how are you doing this?
I also do something similar for like going to a friend's house or like whenever I go to visit my parents who they live like an hour and a half from me. So like sometimes I'll go and I'll spend the weekend with them. I also pack either in like a backpack or in a duffel bag.
Yeah.
That usually gets the job done. I am a carry-on stan. I use a carry-on for absolutely anything I possibly can. I avoid checking a bag, honestly, until I can't avoid it any longer. If I'm going to be gone for probably like more than 10 days, which isn't that often, that's when I'll check a bag. Or if I'm going somewhere, like a lot of times if I'm going overseas and it's around 10 days or more than a week, I will also check a bag. So like when I go to Spain and Portugal, I'm probably going to end up checking something. But like when I went to Iceland, I was only there for like a week and I was also with my parents. So something that was really helpful was I think I got a wow, I'm like literally spacing out. My mom's gonna text me and be like, "This is actually what you did." Okay. but so when I also travel internationally, I do travel with my parents, and my dad has less stuff than we do. So we also take advantage of his suitcase real estate for when we decide to like buy like souvenirs or like wine bottles or some other cool thing overseas. But I'm we went to Puerto Rico for 10 days, and I shoved all of that in a carry-on. I was really proud of myself.
That is so impressive to me because, side tangent, this is something I've had to get used to. I am obsessed with packing my own pillow, okay?
Oh, wow. Good for you. But also, like, I don't think I have that level of commitment.
I have like neck and back like chronic pain issues, but also I'm just not a great sleeper in general. And without my own pillow, it's a struggle. You don't know what you're going to get. I could have a broken back the next morning after sleeping on a random pillow. Like I will not be okay for the whole trip. But for the NIH, I like didn't pack a pillow and it was very hard for me. I don't often do that, but it ended up being fine. But anyway, I had to throw that in as a side tangent that like I love my own pillow. So that's why it's hard for me to check a bag or to not check a bag, but I'm proud of you for like being a carry-on gal.
I really try my best. I really, really try my best. When I marathoned, I visited Casey and then I went to Disney in Florida. I did all of that in a carry-on asterisk. I had to pack a little bit extra because of Romana's stuff. And that gets a little bit more difficult. And I know this isn't necessarily like a rare episode, but hey, it's just part of my life.
How dare you talk about your disability? How dare you mention it on this episode where we're not focused on disability? How dare you bring this up?
Not talking about it at all.
How dare you bring this up?
We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah.
No, so Romana, she doesn't always need like that much. But I have on recent trips, like I have a little like dog sleeping bag for her where she's got like a more comfortable bed than just like sleeping on the ground. And if we're in a hotel, I'll just like have her sleep on the bed, which she usually does when we're at home. But if we're in an Airbnb, like we can't really, or like staying with a friend, like I don't really want to impose on them either. So like I bring her little sleeping bag, and what I've started doing recently, like since maybe my trips in November, is like I started like clipping it onto my backpack, and then her food, sometimes I can shove it into the carry-on if I try really hard. Also, pro tip, if you are trying to close your carry-on and it's not closing super well, more than sitting on it, you should open the expanding zipper. My mom taught me this. You should open the expanding zipper, close it, and then close the expanding zipper, and it all just squooshes together.
Oh, that is smart. That is smart. I was so impressed that you were able to pack all of this stuff to come visit me and then go to Disney World. I said Disneyland. Am I okay? Go to Disney World in a carry-on. Like, I mean, I just couldn't believe it. But because you guys have to understand, listeners, she was coming to a cold climate to visit me and then going to a warmer climate for Orlando. Totally different outfits. Like, it's not like you could like even re-wear what outfits you were wearing. You weren't re-wearing outfits. I don't understand. I literally don't understand.
Well, okay, but here's the sacrifice one makes when you don't check a bag, is that Casey always looks flaming remarkable.
Oh, stop.
Every time we are traveling together, like
you're confusing me with yourself, ma'am.
No. This is untrue because I remember like Casey had multiple boots one year to go to the HBS conference, which is one weekend.
Stop, that's so me.
And you looked so good every day. It's like you like brought your closet, but it was amazing.
That is so on brand for me to bring like 3 different pairs of shoes. When I travel.
It was amazing, though.
I'm trying to be a lighter traveler, but for me, it really is toiletries. Like, I try to narrow it down. I have so many toiletries, and it's hard to, like...
It's hard.
I really try to narrow it down as much as I can and not use everything. I definitely don't use everything I use on a daily basis while traveling. That's just not realistic. But, like, even then, it's, like, a lot. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Right. Well, and that is also really nice about checking a bag is, like, if you do check a bag, you're not held to the liquids standard. So you can bring full sizes of things if you want to.
That's true.
In your checked bag, which is really nice because sometimes, like, your travel isn't enough. So, like, the way I end up packing is, I have a list on my phone with like check boxes of things that I can like just tap and check off.
Yes.
And I have different like categories within that list. So obviously like I've got like clothes, and I've got toiletries, and I've got stuff for Romana. I have to also think about my ostomy and Celeste's things as well. So I have to, like, I have a list of the things, and as I pack them and put them in my suitcase, I check them off. And I don't always need to check off everything that I have on the list. Like, sometimes there are things like dresses and slips to wear under the dresses. And, you know, if I'm not packing, like, anything formal, I don't really need to bring that. So I don't always need to check everything off. But it is honestly so helpful. Like, medications and, like, any, like, prescriptions that I'm taking, or any, like, vitamins, or any, like, electrolytes that I want to pack, like Drip Drop. Like,
yeah.
It helps so much. And the cool thing about it is that you can, it's just like on notes on my phone, you can uncheck them when you're starting to pack for a new trip, and then not have to just, like, rewrite them all over again.
Right. I also do that. I also have a note on my phone. It's great. You check it off. It's wonderful. Yes.
Love it. And I was thinking about what you were saying about having, like, kind of a ready-go toiletry bag. I have something similar. It's not completely stocked the way that yours is, but I have these little capsules that I fill with my toiletries, and you know, they're all pretty much ready. Usually what I need to do, though, is refill them, or just make sure that there is enough of whatever's inside of them before I go. And that doesn't take too long, but, like, they're already there and ready, and they have stuff in them, so all I do is
and they're really cool. They're, like, magnetic, and they all stick together, and it's very, very cool.
I really like them. They're really cool. They're called Cadence capsules. I think the website is, like, keepyourcadence.com. This is not sponsored. But they're really cool. They come in lots of cool colors. They're magnetic, and they're, like, it's a hexagon. They're hexagonal, and so, like, they all nest within each other, and they make kind of a cool little tessellated honeycomb if you have, like, several of them. And it's nice because this feels like a pitch, but it's not, I promise. Like, there's, on the inside, there's, like, no right angle, so you can, like, scrape through and not lose product on the little, like, bottom corners. And the lid is also magnetic, so when you, like, unscrew the lid, you can just magnet it onto one of the flat sides, and it doesn't, like, you don't lose your lid.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
They're really cool, and they have like, I think the best part is, though, that, like, sometimes they're made of recycled plastic, so they're, like, super, like, reusable, earth-friendly, whatever, but, like, sometimes they'll crack, like, because it's reused plastic, and so the company's really good customer service, though. I've had, like, several capsules that crack, and they have a lifetime guarantee. So, like, you just email them and you send them, like, a picture of your cracked capsule, and they'll, like, replace it for free. So that's really awesome. Great.
Okay, so that was, like, our suitcase.
Yeah,
but
right.
What do you have? This is different. This is a separate section. What do you have in your airport bag? Because there are things you need, and even if you're bringing the bag onto the plane, the carry-on bag, it's kind of hard to get in there, you know, to, like, access things. What do you need in, like, your backpack / purse that you're, like, actually bringing on the plane?
Your personal item.
I have a lot of things on this list that I need to have a good airport experience, like, a lot. Like, my bag is bursting to the brim because I have a lot of things I need.
Okay. I like this question because, they're not the same thing, and I'm a carry-on girl, but I will, unless it's a real emergency, I will not open my carry-on bag in the airport. Like,
right, no, me neither. No.
Disgusting.
Except that one time I had to turn my laptop off because they were about to put it under the plane, and they told me I almost blew up the plane, probably, if it was still on. But that's just a story that happened to a friend. That's not even me, I don't think. Maybe. Oh. Just kidding. It was me.
Yeah. Okay. Airport bag. Okay. So I have a backpack usually because generally whatever doesn't fit in the carry-on, which, like, isn't a whole ton, will go in my backpack. I have a pretty tall, like, Patagonia backpack, and it fits a fair bit. So I have my toiletries in my backpack, actually, because...
Oh, fun facts.
Yeah, if I get stuck in the airport, which has happened before, then I have my toiletries with me. And I like that.
Yes, but if you're bringing a carry-on bag, wouldn't you still have them with
sometimes they
you?
forcibly check it.
I know. That's what they did to me when my laptop was on. That's what they did. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
I don't like that. Like, you can get separated from your carry-on, and not just because you lose it or
That's
because
true.
like something happens. So
Good points.
I keep it in my backpack.
Points are made.
I have what else do I keep in there? If I'm bringing like an electronic, like a laptop or my iPad or something, that usually goes in the backpack. Charging cables. I keep a backup battery in my backpack, so in case like my phone is dying while I'm at the airport, that goes with me. I have my AirPods. I have like all my cards in the back of my phone, like my ID and stuff. So I usually have that on hand, and I'm trying to think of the other things that I keep in my backpack. I have like some of my ostomy supplies in there as well, just in case, like I said, I get separated from my carry-on. Or it's also really convenient because like if I have to like go to the bathroom while I'm at the airport, which happens all the time, I don't have to open my carry-on and dig my ostomy supplies out of there either. Something that I started doing recently because my mom encouraged me to is, so I often travel in my Crocs because they're the most comfy.
Oh, every time. I do not wear Crocs while traveling.
Right?
Double
But
negative.
they make you take off your shoes in the security line, which is just kind of gross. So my mom is like, hey, just roll up a pair of socks and stick it in the side of your backpack.
Oh, I just wear Crocs with socks. I just wear the socks the whole time.
Oh, see, sometimes
But that is
I do
smart.
that.
That is smart.
Yeah. But like definitely be wearing the socks under the Crocs.
Definitely. Crocs with socks is my look. That's usually how I wear them.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other things I usually keep in there. I have my water bottle like with me. Sometimes it's like clipped to a carabiner. Sometimes it's like in the side pocket of my backpack. It's often probably empty because you have to empty before security.
Yes.
But yeah, it goes with me, and then I fill it up afterward because I'm a thirsty girl. I have drip drop with me usually at all times. I think that's what I'm thinking of offhand.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay, so yeah, the basics, phone, wallet, all that, obviously, right? Some of the things you said, have my AirPods with me because that's important, right?
Very.
Also, entertainment-wise, I have my favorite thing that starts with a K. Say it with me, listeners. My Kindle. I have that because the listeners know by now that I praise the Kindle. So the Kindle's in there. Sometimes I put my medication in there for the same reason you said.
Yes,
if I ever get separated.
Me too. That's
Because
the other thing. Thank you.
One time I got separated from my meds when it was a bad situation, and I need to have my meds with me. I always have a snack, obviously, because I will pass out if I don't, and that would be bad. So I have a snack with me. I have the most important thing, I will not enter an airport without this. I will not get on the plane. If for some reason I didn't have this, I'd be kicking and screaming off the plane. I would not get on. Is my
so
earplanes.
Oh, yes. Wait,
This
question.
is-
Can you wear your AirPods with those?
No, you cannot. So what I do, you only really need them for the 30 minutes of landing, 30 minutes prior to landing. So, and it even tells you that on the box, but also that's just the truth. So I wear my AirPods the whole time, and then for the last 30 minutes, I'm in the silence because I have my earplanes on. But yeah, I've talked about these before. If you have any ear discomfort or ear pain on the airplane, which I definitely do, and I'm usually crying. Yeah, ear pain on the airplane. Say that 5 times fast. Ear pain, airplane. Ear pain, airplane. That's why it sounds the same, because an airplane causes ear pain, So I have my earplanes, and they are the lifesaver of all lifesavers, and have changed my entire life. Because before earplanes, when I say it was a misery, it's like, think about the worst migraine you've ever had times 4,000 billion %. That was the situation. I'm not kidding, though. I can't even describe the pain. It's right up there with kidney stones. And everybody says, and I've had a kidney stone, everybody says that's the worst pain. The ear pain on the airplane, which was also right there with the kidney stone. Like,
I feel like any
bad.
kind of head pain, but specifically your ears and your teeth are just unbearable. So
that is like actually true. It's actually true that that's the worst. So yeah, anyway, earplanes, we love them. And I'm trying to think, I need to start bringing drip drop like you do. That's a great idea.
I'm always so tired when I'm traveling, and traveling is really dehydrating.
A charger, obviously a charger.
Yes, obviously.
So important, have your charger in your bag. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the basics.
Yeah, I think that's all really helpful. And you generally take your cane with you, right?
Yes, I have the cane, but that's like out. Right. So I'm like using it. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, I do travel with the cane, especially if I'm traveling alone.
Do they make you put it? I forget if we talked about this in the other episode. Did they make you put it through like the metal detector?
They do. Yeah, they do.
So
I don't get to walk through with it. They make me put it in the bin, in the plastic bin. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
At first, I was like, "Why are you asking me this? You don't know." And then I remembered you had a dog instead. I was like, "You don't know what they do."
So speaking of the earplane, what do you do on the earplane to pass the time?
Yeah, so I people do all kinds of different things, but my favorite thing is listening to music on the plane. And so I have my wow, I was about to say AirPods. Now I'm losing my mind. It's AirPods.
It's AirPods.
I have my AirPods, and I will listen to some playlists. Like I said, I have to take them out, sadly, 30 minutes before. So if it's a short flight, that's kind of a short time to be listening to my music. I feel like we're about to land. It is kind of sad. But I do have I literally have a specific playlist for flying. I like to listen to, so I'm not a super anxious flyer. I don't get really anxious, but I get a little bit, especially at takeoff. It's a little bit like, I don't love it. And so a lot of the music I like to listen to on the plane is like very, very like happy-go-lucky, like everything's great, everything's happy, like Steven Universe, like that kind of stuff on the flight. So it can make me happy and feel good. So, and sometimes when I take off my AirPods and I have to put in the earplanes, I will read at that point because I can't listen to anything anymore. So I'll get my Kindle out at that point. But what about you?
Yeah. I usually listen to music and try to sleep, but more than anything, just like rest my eyes if I can't sleep. I'm not going to force it to happen if it's not going to happen. I can sort of sleep on a plane. But it's sleeping on a plane is real weird. So even if you do get to sleep, it's not super, super restful generally. But yeah, I listen to just like whatever I've been listening to or in the mood for. And you can like download them from Spotify and then listen like offline. I'm a big album listener, so like whatever albums I'm kind of crushing on at the moment, I will just like try to make sure that I download them for offline. A couple other things I have done. So with T-Mobile, some airlines, I think it might just be Delta, and I don't always fly. I think I fly American more than anything lately. T-Mobile has like a deal with some airline that you can have like free Wi-Fi if you're a T-Mobile customer, and I've done that before where I just like get to, I don't know, just like scroll on my phone or do anything that I needed to do with internet. But it's like no big deal if I don't have that. I've also listened to audiobooks, which is always like I really enjoy that just to pass the time. And if you feel like you might fall asleep, you can set a sleep timer for it so that you don't like miss part of your book. But yeah, it really, really helps to feel like you're in a whole other world besides the plane, which, I've flown for a long time in my life, like my entire life probably. And so it feels just like a natural, normal thing that I do. So I'm never anxious on the plane. but I am just excessively bored, so.
Yeah. I have two things to reply to that you said. The first thing is I do often sleep on the plane. I can't help it. It's like the noise the plane makes is almost like a noisemaker machine.
Like a white noise.
Like a white noise. And so I do often fall asleep on the plane, and by the time they start bringing the snacks, I like never speak to the people because I'm like asleep. But
can't
the
stand
second
speaking
thing,
to people on a plane.
oh, I can't stand it. The second thing is, okay, this is a pet peeve, literally a pet peeve. So Cass was talking about how you download your music on Spotify so that you can access it offline, so that when you go to airplane mode, you don't have to be on Wi-Fi to like get to your music. Okay, so I do that, right? I have a few playlists that are downloaded. I will put on my airplane mode. I will go to Spotify to access that. And every time it sends me all these notifications that's like, you need to get off airplane mode. You need to get online. Like, and it drives me crazy because I'm like, I'm on airplane mode on purpose.
Oh, no, yeah, that's just your phone, right? Yeah, like, you can open any app, like Spotify or anything else, just to do something while you're on airplane mode, knowing you're on airplane mode, but they're like, hey, don't forget that you're on airplane mode.
Yeah,
so
like,
annoying.
oh, but I think even Spotify has its own one that's like, listen to music by going online. Like, it drives me insane.
Yeah, you're offline.
Yeah,
Go
you're
online
offline. I'm like,
listen to
I
music.
know, I'm on a plane. Drives me insane.
Remarkable.
Drives me insane.
You know, and I guess that's okay, because I'm sure that there have been people that have called, like, their customer service, and they're like, my Spotify won't play anything, and it's like, are you offline?
But I feel, here's my thing. I feel like that notification should come on only when you're trying to listen to, only when you click on a song that is offline.
That's not downloaded, yeah.
But instead, they just tell me the moment I arrive on the app, and I'm like, I know.
Hey, by the way.
Please stop,
Yeah.
please. Anyway, and I'm so excited for this weekend, specifically when I fly, because Paramore's new album is going to be out, and I will be listening to it the entire flight. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's so. I'm excited to hear it too. The lead single has been really good. I've enjoyed it. So
yes,
it's
so
gonna
good.
be great.
So good.
Okay.
So.
Okay. We have.
Can we make it more obnoxious every time?
Quote SpongeBob. It's like, I heard there was a dying animal on the premises.
Yeah. That's us. Oh my gosh. We have a game.
Yes.
This one is fun.
This one is interesting. Okay, so we've got a word association game.
But travel. But make it travel.
But make it travel.
But make it travel. So yeah, we're going to say a word to the other person, but they have to tell a specific travel-related story instead of just a story like we normally do on this pod.
I know you said that word, but I heard it in bold.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
So,
would you like to go first?
I will, and if you don't have anything, that's fine. We can move on. The first one is tall building.
Okay, so my mind immediately goes to New York, Manhattan. You know what? I haven't been to Manhattan in a while. But the last time, so sometimes after the HPS conference, if we time it right, we like I'm usually with at least my mom, sometimes also my dad, but we go to Manhattan a little bit afterwards. The HPS conference is on Long Island, so like we have to like be kind of intentional about it, but usually if my mom can, well, and when I was in school also, but like when my mom can, since she's a teacher, line it up with spring break, so like it works out. We're thinking about maybe doing that again in the future, but I miss that, man. I really like being in Manhattan.
Did you
It's
ever
so
go
exciting.
on the top of any of the tall buildings? Have you ever done Top of the Rock or the Empire State Building?
Yes, I have done the Empire State. So the first time, I thought I was just talking about that because like I feel like you're always surrounded by tall buildings. But The first time I visited Manhattan was in 2010, and that trip holds a really special place in my heart. We went and with like my aunt and some cousins, and it was so fun. And we went to the top of the Empire State Building that time. It was very cold and rainy, the entire time we were there. But it was so fun. And it's around the time that I think that Alicia Keys song, like New York.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Yes, and we were in New York, and it felt like it was written for us. So every time I hear that song, I want to cry.
I know. That song also brings back a lot of memories for me, too.
I love it. Okay,
what
about Utah building?
Great. Oh, yeah. New York, probably. Like Top of the Rock or Empire State. I've done both of those. So, love that. Rockefeller Center for...
Any specific Empire State memory, or...
Oh... the elevator ride is fun, I think. I'm thinking of Top of the Rock more because I've done that more recently, but it's like a really fast elevator and you're like going so high. So yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Fun. Okay. I'm thinking, my turn. Metal detector.
So
Yay!
Actually, at the NIH, you have to also go through security. You know, it's very similar to like airport security. And I forgot if I told you this story. I think it's kind of a funny story.
I don't think you did. I don't remember hearing
So they're really serious at this security. Like, it's like intense. And the car pulls up. The security person yanks open our car door. This all happens very quick. They yank over our car door and they say, "Reason for visit?" And I was so taken off guard. I'm in the car. I'm so taken off guard. And I go, I have a rare disease. And my mom and I laughed at that the entire rest of the trip. We just kept going, I have a rare disease. Because I did not know like that they were going to ask me that. And anyway, then I went on to the metal detector in that same area.
Wow.
So that's why I thought of that. Any for you?
I think it's just the general memory of like being in airport security. So when usually I'm traveling with Romana. There are times where I'm not, but we have to go through the metal detector as opposed to like the body scanner. And so like, I'm remembering now also, I have to, like, they teach you how to do this in Guide Dogs for the Blind. And I talked about this in our other travel episode, but, like, I have to have her sit, and then I have her stay, and then I walk through the metal detector, and then I call her through the metal detector, and she just, like, comes through. But she's got, like, her harness on and everything, and, like, that's got metal in it, so it always is going to alarm. So the TSA has to give her a pat down. And like it's always so funny because she's like, sometimes they're a little bit nervous, like they're a little apprehensive because they've also seen like the police dogs, and I don't know if they like know if she's gonna be like more aggressive or not, but she's like always just so wiggly, so happy.
Aww.
And when we went through the security coming back from Puerto Rico, like in the San Juan airport, the security guard, he did his job, like he did the pat down, and then they have to like test the machine. They like swipe your hands and they test it in the machine. But while he waited for the results, he like came back and just started petting her again, which you're not really supposed to do. But like, I was like, whatever, man. Like, and she was thrilled. I mean,
my next one for you, my friend, is continental breakfast.
Oh my gosh, okay. When I realized that I didn't like continental breakfasts because it's usually like a shrink wrapped super, I'm not like a purist about my food, like, oh, it's so processed, but it's just like one of those like junky pastries that you get at the supermarket. Is like, I remember my family took several road trips a few years in succession when I was like 11, 12, 13 maybe. And we stayed in a lot of motels because, they were really affordable and they were on our way. And we were going out to like Yellowstone and out west, but anyway, so like I remember staying in like a Days Inn and like or some kind of like Super 8 or whatever, and they were like, oh, we've got continental breakfast, and I roll up and it's literally just like shrink wrap pastries, and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, that's fair. Have you seen the ones though now where you can like make your own waffles? Like they literally have like
those
the mix?
are the best. Those are the
cool.
absolute best. When we were in Iceland, they had this like waffle machine that like the waffles were just so good. Every time there's a waffle machine though, my mom is like always just right on it. She's like, I want a waffle.
Oh yeah, no, I love that too. That was
So
what
good.
I would like. That's what my brain went to with that. So yeah,
ooh, that's good. I like that. All right. My word for you is layover.
Layover. So one of the worst layovers of my life was in Detroit, which my next layover this weekend is about to be in Detroit. So fingers crossed. But I had a layover. Our luggage had already gone home, so we didn't have our luggage. It was my mom and I. And I got really, really sick with a stomach bug. And I was like terribly throwing up in this random Detroit hotel. Yeah, it was bad to the point where I was so sick I couldn't even get on our next flight for the next day because I was like throwing up. Yeah, it was terrible. It was after it was right after an HPS conference one of the years. So
really?
Yeah, I think 2013. 14. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's when we met.
Yes. No, it was. Yeah, it was that year. Yes.
That's awful. I'm so sorry that happened.
Yeah, it was not. And I didn't have any of my meds with me or anything, which is why
when were you able to leave?
We were able to leave, I think, like 2 days after.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was bad.
Did you just stayed in that same hotel?
In that hotel. Yeah.
Ooh.
I told my mom, I was like, I cannot get on the plane like this. And then when I tried to get on the plane, I passed out. That's the story time I've told where like,
oh yeah,
I passed out in the aisle of the airplane. Fun times.
Wow. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Let me think. Layover. The first, I've had a lot of interesting layovers. We had to stay, also when Case and I went to Disney with our moms and my dad, in October of 2021, we were in Atlanta and like we had to stay over.
That was bad.
That was brutal. The one I was thinking of though was, I don't know, for some reason when I went my layover from Memphis to go to Orlando for Disney World back in November, my layover was in the Charlotte airport, and I feel like I just had like an out-of-body experience at the Charlotte airport.
I remember you telling me about it. Yes.
It's such a weird airport. I was just like, I don't know if all airports are just strange places, which I think they are.
Yeah.
But also I was just looking around, and it's almost as if I was seeing it with like new eyes. I was like, there's a giant reindeer statue with lights in the middle of a concourse, and it just there's so much happening at once. Like you can buy like a Gucci bag at the airport, and I was like, why would you need to,
that's
though?
so bizarre.
How much business do they really get?
Right.
I was asking myself all of these questions, and I was just, I don't know. It was a time.
That is crazy. My very last one for you is hot tub.
Hot tub. So I'm not really a hot tub person because the jets, ever since I was really little, even before I had Crohn's disease, if I stay in them too long, and like too long, usually I mean like more than 10 minutes, I like get nauseous with the jets, and I don't like it very much. But the last time I was in a hot tub, I went with my friends to Gatlinburg. We stayed in like an Airbnb with like cabin kind of deal with a hot tub, and that was really fun. I really enjoyed that, but like I had to keep like kind of going in and out just because I'm like, I don't like the jets.
No, that makes sense.
I like the warm.
At the like beach condo we always stay at, there's a hot tub, and my young 7-year-old nephew always wants to like get in it, and I'm always like, kids should only be in it for this amount of time, because if it were up to him, he'd be in it like all day long. So I don't know. That's one of the first memories I thought of with hot tub.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I feel like here's the thing with a hot tub for me. It's like it's small and you're just sitting there. You're not actually swimming. And there's always like people you don't know, like strangers in there. And so it feels weird because you're like, do we talk? You're just sitting there,
It's so true.
You're sitting there in this small pool where I feel like a bigger pool, you're like swimming around and playing like with I'll be playing with my nephews or whatever. But then in a hot tub, it's like you're just sitting there with these people. Like, I don't love that.
Yeah.
But I did there was a hot tub at this cabin that my parents and I stayed at in 2020 when we were trying to get away but also be secluded. And we got in the hot tub and I was drinking alcohol, which I don't often do.
Literally never do.
And the mixture of me drinking alcohol while also being in a hot tub was a recipe for utter disaster because I felt so dizzy and bad for like an hour after I got out of the hot tub.
And listeners, bear in mind, she barely had like any...
Oh, like literally, I had like a glass of wine. It was like rosé. And and like I literally like I don't know if it was the hot I got too overheated or the alcohol or all of both. Probably. I would say both. Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
I feel like you're telling like
all of my stories are like me being sick.
I'm so sorry.
We're trying not to make this episode rare, but somehow it's getting into our health issues.
But it always is.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, all my memories are like me being ill.
They really stand out.
Oh my god.
Okay, hopefully you have I think you'll have a better memory with this one. Okay, this is my last one is beach umbrella.
Beach umbrella? So I go to the beach every year if I can help it. And my mom and I, big fan of the beach umbrella because albinism, and my mom also like she has like she has skin issues because she has autoimmune disease. So anyway, we're both like, we need the umbrella. And my dad, if you like at the beach we go to, if you're there for like a week, you rent an umbrella and that's your umbrella for like the whole week. Like, but you have to like get down there. Like, and so my dad will like go down there at like 7 a.m. or whatever. They like start giving out the umbrellas to get us a good spot. Thanks, Dad.
What a hero.
And he's gonna text me after this and say, I got a shout out on the podcast because he always does when his name is mentioned. So there you go, Dad.
We don't deserve Alan Greer.
No, we don't. But anyway, so I love being under the umbrella, and I usually try to be under the umbrella most of the time, and it's really great. What about you?
Yeah, so I don't really go to the beach that often, but I did have a memory with it because last June I went to Tampa for my friend Diana's bachelorette party, and we did go to, I think, St. Petersburg Beach or something in that area. And we had a beach umbrella, and honestly, that's pretty much where I lived. Like, I went to the water a few times, but I pretty much mostly sat under the beach umbrella, and you know what? It was quite nice. It was quite nice. And I didn't get that sunburnt. I think it's almost impossible not to. I was like constantly putting it on, and the only place I did get sunburnt was just like that little like right underneath the edge of my swimsuit, that area.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate that.
Yeah, yes, that's terrible. But yeah,
it's like the only place.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, like, having or not having a beach umbrella can make or break a situation for me. Like, if I didn't, I wouldn't enjoy being out there. I definitely enjoy it much more with the umbrella. So
beach umbrella.
Yes, we love that.
Our saviors at the beach.
Yes, at the beach. Well, that was fun.
Yay! We dated.
We hope you maybe learned something new about us or about travel with this episode. If you're traveling at all this year, we hope you have safe travels
for your trips.
Yeah,
whatever
absolutely.
is upcoming for you.
Yes. So thanks for listening.
We will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.